Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Shireen Bhan. The top stories that we're tracking for you this evening. Another day of heavy volatility on the Lal Street. Markets end in the red for the sixth day in a row after seesawing between negative and positive. All eyes remain on corporate earnings and global geopolitics, including the Prime Minister's scheduled meeting with US President Donald Trump. In the currency markets, the rupee reverses early gains as banks buy dollars on behalf of importers. Dealers say the Reserve Bank may have eased up on dollar sales as the day progressed. Adding to the reversal, the currency closes 7 paise weaker at 86 rupees and 90 paise to the dollar. Investors continue to pour money into mutual funds despite market volatility. Inflows into equity funds near record highs of 40,000 crores in January, with large cap and small cap funds getting the lion's share. But safe haven buying into gold spikes. Gold ETFs see record inflows at over 3,700 crore rupees. Simpler tax reporting terminology, tighter norms for virtual digital assets, including cryptocurrencies, and fewer sections. CNBC-TV18 reviews the 622-page draft of the new income tax bill, which is scheduled to be tabled in the Lok Sabha tomorrow. As expected, there are no rate changes in the bill. Prime Minister Modi inaugurates a new consulate in France's Marseille. India and France also signed 10 outcome documents during the Prime Minister's meeting with President Macron. The Prime Minister will fly to the US in the evening, where he's scheduled to meet President Trump. The Gaza ceasefire is on thin ice. Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu threatens that his forces will resume intense fighting in the Strip if Hamas does not return hostages on Saturday as promised. The threat follows Hamas indicating it may delay the release since Israel has violated key provisions of the truce. The Indian Air Force Chief AP Singh calls out HAL's delivery record on the Tejas Mark 1A fighter jet. Says he's just not confident of the company's ability to deliver on time. The management clarifies, says the delays are due to technical issues along with supply chain, which have been since sorted. Assures the deliveries will soon begin. The Maharatna also reports a strong Q3 performance. Karnataka gets investment commitments worth 5 lakh crore rupees on day one of its three-day investor summit. Close to 70% of these are for the green energy sector. The biggest commitment comes in from M&M, JSW Group and Tata Power. Well, the big macro data of the month is here. Retail inflation numbers for January and industrial output numbers for December, both out. Lata standing by with her analysis. Lata.
Well, actually, it's an excellent set of data. Reserve Bank governor who cut the rates a few days back will be very happy to note that the inflation number has already come towards the 4% mark to 4.3. And why is 4.3 a matter of such joy? Just look at the previous 3 months. 5.2, 5.5, 6.2. So it's a steady fall. More importantly, the 4.3 compares to the 4.53 that we got in the CNBC-TV18 poll. So clearly stunning the street as well, with a significant drop in inflation. I mean, a double delight is the food inflation. Our poll said 6.7. And the number we have got here is 6%. So that, again, is a matter of joy. And again, look at the... actually, let's pull up the bar chart again of the food inflation over the past 3 months. It's fallen from nearly 11% to 9 to 8 to 6% now. And I might remind you that over the past 18 months, food inflation has remained between 8 and 11%. And therefore, the 6 is a breath of fresh air, you will have to say. So inflation numbers very good. And just to complete the delight, let me say that the month-on-month fall in vegetables and pulses, 2 very important sources of protein, will be extremely, encouraging for the government. The index has fallen from 214 to 209. So that would be a fall of about 2.5% just on the month for pulses. And for vegetables, the fall is, something like a 15-20%. To be fair, winter months always see a sequential fall in prices of vegetables month after month. Vegetables do become very cheap. But this time, potatoes and onions were throwing a spanner in the works. But clearly, all vegetables have shown a significant decline in January over December. So I would say from a macroeconomic point of view, from the point of view of interest rates, this is an extremely positive development. Well, not much to say about the industrial growth number. It's come in the November. We're talking about the December number. Okay, that's come in at 6.2. That's a very good number. That's not the kind of number we got in the poll. The poll was more like 4%. It's not a much tracked number because it's very lagged. We are looking at December when almost all the corporate results are out. But even then, you will have to say that a 6.2% growth December industrial output is a heartwarming number.
Lata, I just wanted to make a correction there. The December IIP is coming at 3.2% versus 5.2% month on month. So just wanted to make that correction there. It's coming at 3.2% versus 5.2%.
All right. No, I'm sorry. I was looking at, I think, power or electricity. Electricity has grown at 6.2, but the overall number is 3.2. I'm sorry, this is just a trick played by the website. Thank you for the correction. Manufacturing has not done too well. It's grown by just 3%, and that is about 78% of the entire IIP is manufacturing. That's grown at only 3%. It's electricity that's done very well at 6.2, but not enough to pull up the average. 3.2 would be disappointing. Our average was closer to 4%, so this would be disappointing industrial growth numbers.
Well, that's right. Mining growth coming in at 2.6% versus 1.9% month on month. Manufacturing growth at 3% versus 5.5% month on month. That's what Lata was pointing out. The good news on the electricity front, 6.2% versus 4.4%. Capital goods at 10.3% versus 8.8%. And consumer durables growth has come in at 8.3% versus 14.1%. So there's a substantial month on month decline there as far as consumer durables growth is concerned, coming in at 8.3% versus 14.1% month on month. The overall headline IIP number at 3.2%. Lata, many thanks for joining us. Here's how the trading day panned out. Indian equities were in for another highly volatile session, with the market seeing some large swings moving between positive and negative territory, finally closing off their intraday lows, but just about flat. The Nifty down by about 26 points, 122 on the Sensex. The Nifty banker closing in positive territory and 130 points lower on the mid-cap index. But that doesn't really tell you the kind of pain that we saw through the day, and especially the kind of pain that we've been seeing on the small and mid-cap side through the week. Prashant joins us now with a deeper analysis of the day's trading action. Prashant.
You know, the way to describe today could be better, could be bad, could be very good. It depends on when you started tracking the market today. Because, you came in the morning, it was an okay kind of start. And very quickly, it was bloodbath once again. It was looking like a mirror image of what we had yesterday. Nifty was down sharply. The mid and small cap indices were down 3% apiece. So, and 10:1 declines to advances. That sort of reversed almost completely at one point during the day. And the Nifty actually came back into the green. And then by close, there was another bout of selling, and we were down once again. So, that's essentially what I was talking about. Depends on where you started tracking the market. It's all relative. But anyway, we had one more down day. Nifty up on your screen, the Nifty bank up on your screen as well. Mid and small cap indices off the lows by quite a margin, but ending the day lower. Small caps more than mid caps. I mean, the cut on the small cap index is now about 20% or so, and I think something close on the mid cap index as well, from the highs for both. Now, large caps and where there was pressure, Mahindra and Mahindra, Eicher, Hero. These entire auto stocks, three of them on the Nifty down. ITC, Bharat Electronics and IndusInd Bank were some of the other names which came under pressure. On the upside, you had Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv, SBI Life and HDFC Life. Actually, the insurance stocks perked up and they went up as a whole today. In the broader markets, more down than up, 2:1, nothing close to the 10:1 declines to advances early on. Amber was down, IRCON was down sharply, Prestige, Transrail recently listed and company results came out. Tilaknagar from 450 to 250 in 2-3 days now. Bayer, Crisil was down sharply, Gensol from the word go this morning, Metro Brands, Barbecue, again a completely bombed out name, almost 270 today. And Fino Payment was another stock which was down and out. In the broader market, in terms of upside, Ashok Leyland on the back of earnings which surprised 7.5%. HBL, complete reversal, one of those stocks which turned along with the market. Godfrey, SAIL was up, Inox Wind, Viatec Vabag, which has been quite damaged recently, KRN, recently listed company, Campus, the footwear company, and Goldium International, which also went up about 6% or so. So lots of single stock action. The broader sort of overlay still remains slightly negative. The big talking point in the market, of course, is Prime Minister Modi and President Trump's meeting. But that is only tomorrow. Prime Minister Modi lands in the US today. But the meeting and, of course, what comes out of it, we'll have to wait for one more day. Back to you.
And Parikshit Luthra, our colleague, is in the US tracking all the action. He will join us through the course of that visit. Prashant, many thanks for joining us. In the currency market, the rupee opened on a firm footing, showing some signs of early strength. However, this was short-lived. The domestic currency gave up early gains, ending 6 paise weaker against the dollar. Now, dealers say a lot of this reversal came on the back of dollar buying by banks on behalf of importers and point to the possibility of RBI action supporting the rupee at around 86.90 to the dollar. But going back to the equity markets for just a bit, investors continue to pour money into mutual funds through January, and that's despite the market volatility. So inflows into equity funds closed in on record highs of 40,000 crores. Large cap and small cap funds received the lion's share of the amount. Interestingly, gold exchange traded funds saw record inflows of over 3,700 crore rupees, and that's a massive jump from levels seen in the previous month, which were about 600 odd crores. Now, simpler tax reporting terminology, tighter norms for virtual digital assets, including cryptocurrencies, and fewer sections. These are some of the salient features of the new income tax bill, which is scheduled to be tabled in the Lok Sabha tomorrow. CNBC-TV18 has reviewed a copy of the bill, which runs into 622 pages. The new bill, when it becomes law, will replace the 6-decade-old Income Tax Act. Timsy standing by with more on what has changed. Timsy, take us through the key features of the new bill.
The new income tax bill proposed to be introduced in the Parliament has now been formally circulated to the members of the Parliament. And as per a copy accessed by CNBC-TV18, the bill runs over 600 pages, proposing Income Tax Act 2025, replacing the earlier Income Tax Act of 1961. The bill proposes the new act to come into effect from 1st of April 2026. Divided into 23 chapters, 536 sections and 16 schedules, the bill proposes simple terms like tax year and financial year, replacing the terms such as assessment year and previous year. As per the bill, tax year would mean 12 months period of the financial year starting from 1st of April. The bill has proposed no change in terms of any tax incidence, meaning no tax rates have changed, either for individuals or for corporates or any other income that we report under the income tax returns. The concept of explanations and provisos have been removed for ease in interpretation and understanding. Apart from compliance and procedural changes, the bill proposes introduction of Taxpayers Charter 2 in the Act. The bill has also proposed detailed sections suggesting that foreign companies to be deemed residents. The bill also proposes to include virtual digital assets in the definition of property. However, the tax rate remains the same here again at 30%. The bill has further proposed stronger measures on digital compliance. The new income tax regime for individuals proposed in the budget has been included here. This continues along with the existing old tax regime, which also runs parallelly in the system as per the bill. Enhanced penalties for misreporting and non-compliance and incorrect disclosures are also part of the bill.
All right, Timsy, many thanks for joining us. Well, some highlights there of the new income tax bill. As we've been pointing out, no changes on rates. So any speculation suggesting otherwise is not true. And of course, broadly along the lines of simplification, could more have been done? That's the big question. Time for us to head into a break. But up next, Prime Minister Modi will fly to the US in the evening, where he's scheduled to meet President Donald Trump. That and more when we return. Prime Minister Modi has inaugurated a new consulate in France's Marseille. The Prime Minister also paid homage to fallen Indian soldiers at a cemetery dedicated to the World War II martyrs. India and France signed 10 outcome documents during his visit with President Macron. The Prime Minister will fly to the US in the evening. He's scheduled to meet President Donald Trump in the White House tomorrow. The Prime Minister will be the fourth head of state to meet President Trump after his return to the White House. Parikshit is standing by with more from Washington, D.C. Parikshit, very cold in D.C., a snowstorm there, but what's likely to be on the agenda when Prime Minister Modi meets President Trump?
There will be clear asks on the table when Donald Trump meets Prime Minister Narendra Modi for that bilateral meeting here in Washington, D.C. One would be to reduce the trade deficit. We're told by sources that the Indian government has already prepared a list of 10 to 12 product lines where it could give concessions to Donald Trump. Now, this includes electronic devices, electronic products, and medical devices as well. US could urge India to buy more energy, oil and gas from the US, and therefore India could offer to have long-term LNG contracts with US energy companies. On the defense side, the Indian government has been considering proposals to acquire more Hercules transport aircraft from the US and also surveillance aircraft for the Indian Navy. There could be talk of a limited trade deal that has been discussed earlier also in the first Trump administration, and both sides could lay out a roadmap to conclude an early trade deal in the next 7 to 8 months. There could be a key meeting between Elon Musk and Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well, and there comes the push for lowering tariffs on imported cars into India. On the whole, India would want continuity as far as the technology partnership goes, the defense partnership, including the deal for GE 414 engines to be manufactured in India. US would want India to reduce the trade deficit, reduce the reliance on Russian oil and gas, and support US manufacturing in areas where China has a dominance.
All right, Parikshit, many thanks for joining us. We will, of course, keep coming to you for more details. Now, Defence Aerospace public sector company Hindustan Aeronautics was put in a spot after Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh pulled up the company for continued delays in the delivery of aircraft, especially the Tejas Mach 1 A aircraft. The Air Force Chief said he was not confident about HAL meeting the timelines. Remember, the company was tasked with manufacturing of Tejas, India's first indigenous light combat jet, and deliveries were supposed to commence by March of 2024. Shares of HAL dropped in early trade but then recovered marginally after the company explained that the delays were on account of technical issues along with global supply chain, which have since been sorted out. It has also promised to begin aircraft deliveries soon. Take a look.
You got 200 aircraft for order and you still are agreed. What is about dependency? I can understand engine part. That is totally understandable. If we never pushed. But now also we just ordering 99 to order. But when you look at in the life of the aircraft, you need almost 2 engines per aircraft. From aircraft 3, the 2.5 is what we go by. This should be ordering that many. But the Air Force did our requirements and what are worries. You have to alleviate those worries and make us more confident. We will, at the moment, I am just not confident of HAL.
We have had a setback in terms of engine supplies from General Electric, and they've been delayed since August 23. Now GE has assured us that they will deliver these engines from March 25 onwards, and we expect 12 engines in this year. So I think the technical issues are behind us, and we will be able to deliver these aircraft.
Well, that's the Chairman and Managing Director of HAL promising that deliveries will start soon. Before we wrap this edition of Business 360, we leave you with the Growth Code, an initiative by Grow and CNBC-TV18. We want to leave traders with an essential lesson and help them understand why they must avoid trading during major news events.